What's going on, people? It's your friendly neighborhood Gromit back again, and I'm still rocking the Dan Burn shirt. I've had it on straight for 25 days now. No, not really. Just wearing it today. And it's time. It's about time we do the Beatles record collection. I'm feeling not the best today. Feeling, just a little under the weather and stuff. But it's time to do it, and when it needs to get done, it's gonna get done. So we've got singles, we've got albums, we've got solo stuff. I'm gonna focus just on the Beatles today. So no George Harrison remix, no Ringo Starr the fourth. Just straight Beatles today. And instead of waffling on, let's get on to it. First up, the singles. So, welcome to my bed where I keep my singles out. Of course, I do sleep over top of this singles box, so my back is completely worn out. That was a joke. I keep my singles down there, or whatever. But this box has my Beatles in it, so let's get straight into it. Please Please Me, second pressing on the black and silver Parlophone label. Still Need Love Me Do, although I want to get an original of it. My God, my hand today. Look how rough my hand looks. You can see like the hair, stuff growing on my hand. I'm like, oh, werewolf. But yeah, Please Please Me. Ask Me Why is on the back of that. From Me to You, don't know why that says UK 1980, it's just whatever, it's put it in a sleeve. Yeah, good single. Thank You Girl on the back of that one, of course. She Loves You, got this at Beat Down Records a while ago. I Wanna Hold Your Hand Now, they're their best singles really. This Boy will be on the back of that, yep, This Boy. Oh, there's another. Nope, I've fucked that up. There we go. Can't Buy Me Love. Great single again from the Hard Day's Night album. And talking about a hard day's night, things we said today are on the back of that. I Feel Fine in this weird BBC Records and Tapes sleeve. And then another copy of I Feel Fine here. I don't know what the better one is. They're both the same. Help. Yeah. I'm thinking about buying just Parlophone sleeves. So all these ones without the right sleeves, I can put them in Parlophone sleeves and stuff like that. Because only a few of them have the sleeves. Ticket to Ride. And then another Ticket to Ride, a better copy in the sleeve. Next up, here we go. These are some of the best singles ever made. We Can Work It Out, back with Day Tripper. This is a classic single. One of the best singles ever released. Not just by the Beatles, but in general. I think I fucked up. Yeah, right. God. Paperback Writer, backed with Rain. This is my favourite Beatles single. Absolute classic stuff here. Rain, one of the first psychedelic songs of all time. Paperback Writer, first kind of McCartney number that isn't directly about love. Well, it's not at all. It's about being a paperback writer, wanting to be a paperback writer. Strawberry Fields Forever, back with Penny Lane. I don't have the original cover. They're pretty rare to come by, but that's still an early pressing. Then we got the 1976 stereo remake, Hello Goodbye, backed with I Am the Walrus from Magical Mystery Tour. All You Need Is Love. This is the later pressing with the recorded during the live world television transmission. The very first pressings of this didn't have that on. They're pretty rare to come by. Lady Madonna, back with the Inner Light, the last Parlophone single. I've always said they should have had Hey Bulldog is the single. I just don't understand why John Lennon didn't rate that song. It's one of the best. Hey Jude, back with Revolution, one that everyone has. Get Back, Don't Let Me Down. Here's a American copy of Get Back in stereo. And then my final original Beatles single is Something Back with Come Together. So I'm missing a few. I'm missing Yellow Submarine, one that I find so hard to come by. I'm missing Love Me Do. And I'm missing The Ballad of John and Yoko. And I'll be done. Now and then, just this original black single version. Technically, that I've got Love Me Do. This has Love Me Do on the back of that. And then yesterday, back with I Should Have Known Better, the 1976 exclusive. A couple of EPs now. This is further requests by the Beatles. I got this for like 50p. It's an Australian EP. It's got She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Roll Over Beethoven, and Can't Buy Me Love. So, pretty solid EP there from Australia. Twist and Shout, Long Tall Sally, and then Magical Mystery Tour Record 1 and Record 2. And we got some solo ones. Yeah, I may as well show it. Give Peace a Chance with the Mind Games. Whatever Gets You Through the Night, Woman, Another Day, Paul McCartney, Jet, Don't Come Easy, Ringo Starr, Back Off Boogaloo, Photograph, You're 16, Those Were the Days by Mary Hopkins and the Hollies. Right, so those are my Beatles singles. And make sure I'm not messing up here and there's some back here. No, those are all my Beatles singles. Now, let's go into the Beatles albums. Here we go. This is all of my Beatles records. And as you can see, I do not mess around with the Beatles. I love the Beatles. And it's the most records I've got by any artist in my collection. Very happy to have this amount of Beatles records. No, it's not the biggest collection in the world, but it's my collection, and I'm proud of it. Just took these off the shelves, don't worry, I don't stack them up like this, I just have them like this for this video. But let's get onto it and move these records a little closer to me. Please Please Me in mono. I need to get a better copy of this, really do. This is basically unplayable, but I got this for cheap. And it's a black and gold Parlophone pressing. So it's a first pressing. But yeah, I mean, this is awful. I'm going to get like just a standard fourth pressing of this. I've asked for one for Christmas. Just one that I can play. But this is a Beatles album I play the least often. That isn't saying it's a bad album. It's truly a standout album. You know, it changed the world, this album, didn't it? But yeah, Please Please Me with Love Me Do and 12 other songs by the wonderful, fabulous Four, the Four Guys from Liverpool, the Four Musketeers, the Four Dudes with the Scouse accents, the Four Guys, Burgers and Fries. It's the Beatles. With the Beatles now. This is a really nice copy. Paid 25 quid for this, I believe. And it is a first pressing, you can tell, because the Joe Beat Music credit, that changed to Dominion Belinda very quickly after release. This also has the You Really Gotta Hold On Me as well. But yeah, I love this album. One of the most underrated Beatles albums. John Lennon himself said that this is the true sound of Beatlemania. And it is such a brilliant rocking album. And then here is another copy of With the Beatles. You can see here actually this has the Really Gotta Hold On Me. Gotta instead of got a. But this one has Dominion Belinda. Matrix on this will be 7N7N. That's the most common coupling. Hard Day's Night, pretty battered copy. Well, actually, the vinyl's fine. The vinyl's like VG. It plays all the way through fine. It's just the cover that's the problem here. But I paid like $3.99 for this, so why not? It's on the Chubby font, so it's a true first pressing. Yeah, this is where it really changed for the Beatles. This is where it really blew up. You know, the first two albums with the Beatles was kind of their first big album. I mean, Please Please Me didn't sell in America. Introducing the Beatles from VJ was kind of there, but wasn't until 1964. So these two albums were already out before they got big in America. It's the first album when they were big in America already. So yeah, and class album. Here is a 1971 stereo copy of A Hard Day's Night. This has two flip backs. It's missing the one on the side. And I just want to make people aware of this because I'd never received a comment, but I'm just waiting for the day that it comes. These are in anti-static in the sleeves. Don't worry, I haven't just took the record out butt-ass naked and just shoved it in the back there. I know that's what it looks like, but don't worry, I keep them as safe as I possibly can. Beatles for sale in mono. This is a weird copy of this. It's the only copy I have of it. If you look, there's like a weird purple line around the Beatles. Kind of looks like when you watch a 3D movie without the glasses, if you get me. So that's what's going on here. So a weird factory mispressing. I don't really think it's worth anything, but it's cool nonetheless. And this is a first pressing mono. 4N, matrices probably. I don't know what the most common coupling on that album is. Right, Help. A kind of disastrous copy of that. Then an alright one here in mono. It's the one that I'll play. Records like VG Plus, I'd say it plays all the way through without much noise. Cover could be better, but yeah. And then here is the Australian stereo Help, which I was on about the other day. Got in Newcastle just recently, and that's on that beautiful black and gold Parlophone label, but silver instead, if you get me. This album, it's the first Beatles album where I prefer the stereo. Actually, no, Beatles for Sale, I prefer stereo over mono as well. Because the mono version of that album stinks. But really, both mono and stereo mid for this album. But if I had to listen to one, it would be the stereo. Right, Rubber Soul. It's loud cut pressing. There we go. Yeah, not the best sounding version. The loud cut pressing, maybe not too much on modern turntables, but you can still definitely hear a bit of distortion in this version. The bass is just a little too loud, you know. But so I need to get like a 4N, I believe, of this. That's the best way to listen to it in mono. Unfortunately, for some reason, they decided to completely destroy this album in stereo and go back to the really primitive vocals on the left channel and all the instruments on the right. So yeah, I'd listen to this in mono any day of the week over the stereo, but I have a stereo anyways. So one box, and it's got the flip backs, as you can see. So yeah, Rubber Soul. And again, this is the point where the Beatles changed. Rubber Soul sounds... It's weird. Beatles for Sale sounds different to Hard Day's Night. Sounds different to With the Beatles. So every Beatles album, in my opinion, has a different feel. But this is the first time where you could tell that the Beatles were maturing a lot. The Norwegian Wood, Nowhere Man is famously the first John Lennon, Lennon-McCartney number writ that is directly not about love. So, yeah. But this album is different because this is the best album ever made. Just full stop. Revolver, the best album ever made. In my opinion, yeah. I just adore this album. There is not a bad track on here. This is the mono second pressing. With this doesn't have the remix of Tomorrow Never Knows. But yeah, one of the best covers ever as well. And stereo on the one box again. Can't be asked getting out, but that has the flip backs. Yeah. Revolver, beautiful. I'm going through these as fast as I can because I've got so many. I don't want this video to be like 20 minutes long. And I know a lot of people just like watching these videos. They don't really care much about what you're talking about. They just want to see the cool, the different pressings of the albums you have. Collection of Beatles oldies, but goldies. One of the worst Beatles releases ever, really. This sounds rubbish. I don't know where they got these tapes from or what they did, but this sounds god-awful. Listen to the, I mean, like, She Loves You, just listen to the single. From Me to You, just listen to the single. We Can Work It Out, just listen to the single. Help, just listen to the single. Michelle, this was a new song then. How did they mess it up so bad? It sounds dreadful on this. Yes, Yellow Submarine, listen to the single, blah, blah, you know. Right. Sgt. Pepper's. This is gone from one of the worst sounding Beatles albums, one of the best, and mono is the way to go for this album. Mono, Sgt. Pepper's. It's one of the nicest all-round mixes of all time. There is the cutouts, and here is the original flamed inner sleeve. And I'm so happy to have a copy of this that has everything with it in mono, which is, as I just said, the preferred way to listen to this album. And that's not saying that the stereo's bad. Here is the stereo, by the way. But the stereo, do you know, like, the memes when they're like, if you take one earphone out on a Beatles song, you literally lose half of the song? Well, that is this album in a nutshell. It's so hard right and left panning on different sound effects and stuff that, you know, it gives you shivers. Do you know, like ASMR tingles and crap like that? It gives you that when you listen to this. Right, here is Magical Mystery Tour. This isn't mine. This is my mother's, so I'll return this to her after this video. But I thought she'd like me to show this off the video as well. It's my mother's personal copy of Magical Mystery Tour with the booklet. This is US pressing, obviously, and it is not a first US pressing. It's on the Apple label, so like a 1971, 1969, I don't know. It's my mom's copy of Magical Mystery Tour to her favourite Beatles album, one that she grew up with, and yeah, classic, the best Dave Dexter Jr. really ever got with the Beatles. It's a shame that he couldn't find true stereo versions. Obviously, everyone talks about the German version of this. It's too expensive, man, that German one now. Really expensive. I blame Polygram Auctions. Alright, the White Album. This is my mono copy. My number in mono is 249,004. Here is the label. So this has an EMI recording. As you can see there, no stereo. This is a mono. This is complete. No, it's not complete. But it's got the poster. And yeah, that's it, I think. Need to get a copy that has the photos inside. But yeah, this album, really, with the White Album, side 1 and 2 I prefer in mono, side 3 and 4 I prefer in stereo. Especially Revolution 9, which is a crap song as it is, but in mono, it's just straight white noise. Like, you don't, it's just, you just skip it in mono. Stereo, at least there's a bit of, I mean, it goes from genuinely bleeding ears to like, well, this is crap, but I can kind of understand what they're doing there. Then here's the stereo. My stereo number is 537,195. And this one just has the records, but the records are nice. They play all the way through. And unfortunately, neither of these albums have any of the misprints or the label variations or whatever. Right, Yellow Submarine. This is like a 1980s reissue. I will probably, unless I find one for cheap, I'm never going to get like an original of this album. To me, it's not worth it. I mean, I've never listened to side 2 of this, and the first side, you're only really buying it for 4 tracks. Hey Bulldog being the only one that is really good. Altogether now is dreadful. I'm sorry if you like that album. I'm sorry if you like that song, but to me, it epitomizes what the Beatles did with this record, and that was just throw away songs on it. But yeah, that's it's all right. It's all right. You know, it's okay. Sorry about my voice. Like I said, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I think my voice sounds a little extra autistic today. Okay, Abbey Road. First pressing. Best sounding Beatles record. Again, need to get a better copy of this. The record's fine, but the sleeve's a bit knackered. Letter B, 1976 reissue, so a lighter Apple label there. And yeah, that is where the Beatles ended, because that's the last album they recorded. But this is where the road truly came to an end with this release. So yeah, those are all my original UK studio Beatles albums. Very happy that I've got a full collection. And I'm always looking for more little nitbitties and weird bits to add to the collection. But yeah, those are my UK studio albums. I have a copy of the Beatles 67 to 70. Need to get the red album. I've only got the blue album here, but that is a first UK pressing without the producer credits on the inside gatefold. No, not my beautiful copy of Let It Be falling on the ground. My God. Apologies, guys. Right, something new. Onto some US albums now. This is a 1971 reissue. I didn't pay too much for this. Check out Meon on Discogs. They ship their records from the US to the UK, and then from their warehouse in the UK to you. So you get basically imports without paying 50 quid for postage. It's a brilliant system, and this is where I got all these American ones from. So something else, 1971 pressing. This is a beautiful, and these are all stereo, by the way. This is a beautiful stereo Beatles 65. Again, didn't pay too much for this, but this is really nice condition. Really happy with this. And there it is, original on the Rainbow Capital label in stereo and the inner sleeve, which you can see through there. This one, a bit different. This one's not in the best of condition. It's Beatles 6. This is probably my favourite US release. It's got Bad Boy on there, which at the time was a US exclusive song. Like the Beatles only made it for the US market. It's got the original inner sleeve, and there it is as well. But the mix of songs on this, kind of mixing a few tracks from Help with the rest of the tracks from Beatles for Sale. This really works. It's a really beautiful album. Yeah. Then this is a Japanese Help, or 1971. No Obi, unfortunately, but as you can see through there, it's got the lyric sheet. Again, didn't pay too much for this. Got this off Meon as well. So yeah, Help. Not much needs to be said about these kind of like motion picture soundtrack ones. I'm not going to really buy them. I might buy A Hard Day's Night, the mono one, when it's released in like a week. Maybe. But overall, they're not too up in my want list. Right. Rock and Roll Music Volume 2. It's the first Beatles album I ever owned. So a lot of sentimental value in this one. And it's great. Track listing, fantastic. Dizzy Miss Lizzie, Anytime at All, Drive My Car, Everyone's Trying to Be My Baby Now. So we've got like one side here that's mainly old Beatles. Then Revolution ends off side one. Then this side is more of the later stage of the Beatles, rock and roll stuff. Beautiful. We got Lennon McCartney, Tijuana style. charity shop fodder. Yeah. Beautiful brass arrangements of Obladi Obladi, Yesterday, From Me to You, All My Love and Yellow Submarine. Yeah, I'm never going to listen to this ever. 28 Beatles songs. Goodbye Beatles by the Johnny Dunn Singers. We have a constipated John Lennon. What is that? Paul McCartney is now Indian, apparently. Was he that dark? I don't know. Ringo is suicidal there. And George, I don't know. Stereo +3. So I guess that +3 means it's a better stereo. I don't know. Whatever. Beatles live at the Hollywood Bowl. Kind of one that everyone needs to have. Yeah, it's decent. It's got the Hollywood Bowl songs on there from 64 and 65. Right, and then these are the two last ones. We've got Anthology 1 and Anthology 2. And that's it, guys. That is my Beatles collection. So happy to finally get this over it. Here is my beautiful legs, and goodbye.